licensed practitioners here at CSL White Rock, and it's a delight. It's a delight to be here today. We are a spiritual learning center located in White Rock, South Surrey in British Columbia, Canada, and we envision a world that naturally expresses love, compassion, kindness. We practice and teach tools for transformation, authentic self-expression, and conscious living. So wherever you are in your path, whether you're soaring or struggling, there's a place for you right here. And you're here for a reason today. So big pat on your back that you're joining us today. Our Sunday gatherings are a balm or a calmness to the soul, a kindness to the soul, a place to be comforted and inspired and to open up to that divine love and inner guidance. Yeah, it's a place for clarity and those aha moments, you know, when you suddenly go, oh, well, that makes sense. It's a connection with your soul, your spirit, the spirit that's within us, within you, the most powerful way through all of life's ups and downs. And I'm so grateful that you're here today. So welcome. So although although how we serve looks different right now, and I know many of you are noticing that, and it's settling into this routine of, I guess I'm being, am I in isolation or am I in solitude? I keep asking myself that every day, and I pick solitude. We are more committed than ever to be your source of spiritual nourishment and community. We want to thank all of you who've given on our website. Many of you have been donating because in order for us to thrive and stay alive, we do appreciate your gifts, your financial gifts. Your gifts, your tithes, your offerings support this crucial work in this world. So thank you for doing that.
You guys have the best practitioners here. You just really, this community is so blessed to have the practitioners. And you're blessed to have Cassandra, who I finally got to meet at our convention in February, whenever it was. It was a long time ago. So I was delighted to meet her and get a sense of her energy. And really, you're blessed. She's lovely. And it is lovely to be here with you all again, although in a very different way, from Seattle, where it is sunny, not snowing, so I'm grateful. To start, since we're already a little bit still in, I know I am, in that meditation quiet, I got reminded recently of something I wanted to share with you, that's something quick that you can do in the moment, because just as Tamara was guided to pick the piece she did from Pema, I know many of us, myself included, have moments when we start feeling a little freaky and alone and separated. There's a wonderful chant that Ricky Byers and probably Michael Beckwith wrote together, and maybe you know it. But it's this: the breath of God is breathing me, and resting in the breath of God, I know that all is well. So I'd love you all to say that with me. So here we go. The breath of God is breathing me, and resting in the breath of God, I know that all is well. Let's do that again. The breath of God is breathing me, and resting in the breath of God, I know that all is well. And that's a great way to bring ourselves back when our minds have gotten scattered. And when we know that that breath of God is breathing us, we recognize it's not just me the breath of God is breathing. The breath of God is breathing everyone. It is breathing all your loved ones. And so it's a great way to know in the moment that we are one. We are with all our loved ones, both those we can see every day and those we can't, that we are one, that we are all breathed through by God. So, as I said, that's a great thing to just take in the moment, a great practice to take in the moment when your mind is going somewhere else. Okay, so today we are with the theme that was created a while ago. Okay, I hope I'm in the center because Tamara, you're still my center. You're still my main speaker. I just realized that.
It's from my screen with Liz, so you're okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. I just can't adjust how I'm looking because I'm so little, but just everybody gives me a thumbs up that you can see me and I'm looking fine. Okay. And my husband came in to say yes. All right. So this lovely theme for this month that was written however many months ago, Bright Beginnings, has turned into being very powerful and interesting for those of us doing talks for this time that we did not predict. And today's talk, Unwritten, I was so excited because I thought it illustrates such a great principle of science of mind and such a great practice that would be good anytime. And especially for these times, it's a principle that's a great reminder for us living right here and right now. And actually, the principle is also something that's in quantum physics, as I was reminded today by a video a friend sent. So, and it's also a great reminder for this day and this week as we celebrate Earth Day. So, what's the principle? Well, the principle is in Science of Mind, basically, we are the authors of our own life. We are the authors of the book that is each of our lives. And why? Because thought is creative. That's probably the first thing you learned when you walked in these doors, besides the fact that you're welcome wherever you are on your spiritual journey, that our thought is creative. In Science of Mind speak, our thought, the tendency of our thoughts, moves upon something we call the law of cause and effect and results in what we call our own current reality, our world experience. Bruce Lipton, who I saw in a short video clip this morning, who is the author of something called The Biology of Belief. So he's a scientist bringing new physics and quantum physics into our new thought spirituality, says that, you know, our thoughts create an electromagnetic field that extends far beyond our little person. They have machines that do this now. Our thought creates a field. Our thought impacts the field of what we call reality, small r reality on human Earth. Now, here's how Ernest Holmes talked about it, or one of the ways he talked about it. I've got the Science of Mind textbook here. Each one of us today is the result of the use he has made of the law, either consciously or unconsciously. As soon as we realize this, we shall see that what we are now or what we now have and experience. So what we are now, or what we now have and experience, is the result of what we have thought. And the answer to what we shall be is contained in what we are now thinking. Man thinks and supposes he lets go of those thoughts, that we are finished with them. But such is not the case, for thought becomes subjectified in mind like a seed planted in the soil, and unless neutralized, it stays there and determines the attraction and repulsion in the experience of the one thinking. Whatever we think, act, believe in, feel, visualize, vision, image, read, and talk about, in fact, all processes which affect or impress us at all are going into the subjective state of our thought, which is our individualized use of universal mind. Whatever goes into the subjective state of our thought tends to return again as some condition. So we and we alone control our destiny. In other words, we write the story of our lives. Now, Ernest Holmes did not make this up. Jesus said, "It is done unto you as you believe." But the thing is that a lot of our repeated thoughts, or maybe before you came into Science of Mind, your repeated thoughts were inherited thoughts from your family, conclusions you'd made. There are sociologists and psychologists who study this thing that say that for most of us, until we become awake and aware of it, our beliefs are all created and established by the time we're 8. And I don't know about you, but I think that the conclusions I came to when I was 8 are not all ones that necessarily stand me in great stead. There's a little bit better conclusions, perhaps wiser conclusions that I can come to. Now, what Bruce Lipton says is that our thought, and especially collective thought, since we are all thinking, there's billions of us thinking, facilitate changes in evolution. So we have both our thought, the thoughts of our families that are creating the conditions we each personally, individually live in, and our collective thought is creating the world we live in. And that's powerful, to say the least. Mary Manning Morrissey, who's one of our great New Thought teachers, makes the remark, she said, we can live a brand new day, we have a new day. She talks about this in the new year, or many of us live the same day over and over and over again. It's the same old, because we're thinking the same old thoughts about ourselves, about what's possible, about the world. But as we know, we can redirect, we can re-choose. That each of our future and the future of this planet is actually unwritten. There is not some fate taking our life. We, at this moment, do not know what is going to unfold. However, if we don't wake up to ourselves, whatever we're experiencing now is going to be what we'll project into the future. So our past becomes our future unless we wake up. Another corollary to this principle that thought is created is the idea that principle, that is God as that law that takes the impress of our thoughts, is not bound by precedent. You've heard me say this, you've probably heard Cassandra say this, you've probably heard your other teachers say this, your teachers in Science of Mind, is that no matter your past, no matter what mistakes, missteps you've done, no matter what you grew up into, you are not bound by that past. You can always recreate and rewrite a new future for yourself. We have so much power to write new stories for ourselves. So much power. And we need to take that power now. Perhaps like never before, we need to take that power to write the stories for ourselves in this planet. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, in my process, I need to become awake to see what thoughts I've been thinking. And of course, I can take a clue from what's in my world. What's in my world that seems to limit me? What's in my world, both personal and collective, that doesn't work? And as I see that, as I tend to fall into thoughts of limitation, please tell me I'm not the only one who ever does that. I need to see what the thoughts are that are going on in the back of my head all the time. What are those little voices in my head? What are the beliefs that I have that I'm not even awake to? Because I think they're the way, those beliefs are actually the way it is. What are you telling yourself about yourself? Are you hanging on to being a victim? Are you telling yourself you're not enough? Are you believing that life is struggle and hard? Are you believing you don't make a difference? As I said, a lot of these are ideas that we didn't implant, that other people, parents, teachers, your boss, even your friends can help implant these beliefs. And what happens then is you're not the author of your own story. You're not the author of your own life. You're letting other people and society write your life, write your story. So first we have to wake up to what is in our way that's right here. And by the way, practitioners are great at helping with this. So your licensed spiritual practitioners that I said at the beginning are so fabulous, are wonderful to have a session with to assist you in seeing, especially looking at what's going on in your life, even apart from what we find ourselves in right now with COVID, looking at your life and helping see what beliefs you're hanging on to. But if you start looking, you can find them. Because what you want to do is stop with these. Pretend that we all have a Jewish mother. Stop with these damaging, limiting thoughts because they are not the truth. I'm pretty sure I said this one time when I visited. If it's true of God, it must be true of you. And if it isn't true of God, it cannot be true of you. God is never not enough. God never not makes a difference. God, is never lazy, is not stupid, none of those things. So become awake to those limiting ideas and stop it. Stop them. In their place, We need to start planting new ideas and especially new visions, new stories for ourselves. And this is where we grab that thing that many of us in our generations had our hands slapped for, daydreams. Daydreams kind of had a bad rap when we were kids and in school. But these daydreams are actually our imagination, yes? We need to take our beautiful imaginations and start employing them to writing the new stories for our own lives and the life of our planet. Our imaginations are the place where we intersect with that creative mind that is God. Our imaginations are where we intersect with the creative power of the universe. And that imagination is where we start dreaming into who will we become? When life returns to normal, which many are saying that it won't, it will be another new normal. Who do we want to be? Do we want to be our same old selves? Or will we want to have taken on more heart, more compassion, more wisdom? For our planet, many say that there are old structures that are falling apart now, that this pandemic is right on time for what needs to happen on our planet. Out my window this morning, I live looking out on Puget Sound, and I can see the Olympic Mountains to the west. This morning, they've been clear, but this morning they were so clear that I could see the purple shadows and ridges of where there's the white, where there's the sunlight on the snow, and then the purple shadows where there isn't. There was so much detail. It was just extraordinary. And we all know what we're seeing, the difference we're seeing. I don't know if Vancouver's a lot clearer to look over to the buildings and such because of the traffic. And we know that within 2 days of cars going more and more again, that might be back. Can we make new choices? Can we write new stories? So the practice that I want us all to, I'm inviting us all to re-put into our day, if we have not already, is to picture and visualize, to spend time in that creative visualization of what you want to see for your life and what you want to see for the planet. You know, we know this stuff works. Remember all those studies they've done of athletes who visualize themselves, if they're basketball players, shooting baskets, or a famous baseball player was profiled in Science of Mind magazine because he visualized himself hitting homers. That if you remember, many of those they found out that the visualizations were as powerful, if not more, than the physical practice. So we know the power. And what's important as we visualize, as we see in our mind, what it is that we want to create, what it is that we want to write for ourselves and the planet, is that we don't just see it, that we allow ourselves to feel it. We see, feel, and that makes real. We see, we feel, and that makes real. So visualize for yourself things that jazz you, get you excited, get you going, things that open your heart, make you leap up in joy and excitement for the new story that is your life and the new story that can be this planet. So this is your spiritual assignment. This is your new spiritual assignment for the pandemic and beyond, is every day spend time in this visualization. Now, the video I got this morning was actually to set up a call to do collective visualizations at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. It sounded like it was Saturday and Sunday, but what the heck? I say, do it all week. And if we're doing it on our West Coast at 11, somebody else is going to be doing it, an hour later and an hour later and an hour later as we move across the planet. And that collective thought is where we become agents, active agents. This is from Bruce Lipton. Active agents engaging in change on the planet. Active agents. So by our willingness to visualize what it is that we want for this planet, for our lives, and see it and get excited about it and make it a practice, we become the change agents. Do you like that? You like that idea? I like that idea. So I'd like to practice that a little bit. And so I'm going to invite you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Well, if you feel comfortable, you're in the comfort of your own home. Why the heck not? So closing your eyes, I'm going to first ask you to visualize what it is that you want in your own life. And as you practice this, by the way, you may want to start writing it down. What you want for your life, what you want for the planet. And I don't know specifically what you want in your own lives, but I'm going to take the 4 main areas of life to just guide you through for now, and then you can fill in your blanks and especially expand the picture. Fill in the colors. I'm giving you the outlines. You fill in the colors. So knowing that you are unlimited, given by the power of simply who you are, an expression of God, you are free to write your story. So now let's imagine that story, your life, where you are in vibrant good health. Whatever that means to you, you are actively engaged in your life in ways that are fun and meaningful for you. Vibrant good health. You enjoy meaningful relationships. Whether you have a committed partner or a wonderful family or a group of dear, dear friends, or all three, or any mix thereof. That you have deep, meaningful relationships. See them, see those you love, see those connections deepening. And imagine that you have financial freedom. That your finances exist in such a way that you have enough to spare and enough to share. That you are wise and giving And you know that your good flows into your life from many, many sources, all of whom begin in spirit. See that freedom around your finances. And imagine that you have meaningful work, whatever work means to you at this point in your life. Many of us are at a point where work looks a little different. But that who you are and this planet makes a difference by the work or the service or just your beingness in the world makes a difference. Your kindness, your creativity, your generosity. So allow yourself each day to tailor, to write your own imagination for your personal story. And now for the planet, I would like to take our global vision, and tomorrow we don't need that up now, we can put it up later. This is something that members of the CSL organization put together. And so this is a very powerful, we'll give you instructions on how you can access this if you like it later for your daily spiritual assignment. But you can also create however you want to for our greater planet. Our global vision, a world that works for everyone. We envision all people, all beings, and all life as expressions of God. We see a world in which every person lives in alignment with his or her highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God and connection with each other. A world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. We envision humanity awakening to its spiritual magnificence and discovering the creative power of thought, a world where every person discovers his or her own personal power and ability to create an individual life that works within a world that works for everyone. We envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life. A world where this kinship with all life prospers and connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience. We envision a world where personal responsibility joins with social conscience in every area of the political, corporate, academic, and social sectors, providing sustainable structures to further the emerging global consciousness. We envision a world where each person has enough food, a home, and a sense of belonging, a world of peace and harmony, enfranchisement, and justice. We envision a world in which resources are valued, cared for, and grown, and where there is generous and continuous sharing of these resources. We envision a worldwide culture in which forgiveness, whether for errors, injustices, or debts, is the norm. We envision a world which has renewed its emphasis on beauty, nature, and love through the resurgence of creativity, art, and aesthetics. And I'm adding in, we envision a world where we make all decisions in concert with how it not just impacts the humans who live on it, but impacts the earth and its creatures. That we envision a world where nature once again thrives. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. So take a breath in and let it out. And open your eyes. And know that this is something that you can do every day, that I ask you, I invite you, I would love you to do every day. Your story and the world's story are waiting to be written. You have the power to help write it for the world. You have the power to write it for yourself. All of life needs us to claim this power and take it. So let's write it together. And so it is. Let's join in consciousness over these wonderful, miraculous airwaves. And knowing that truly we are all being breathed upon by God. So we are all connected. And more than being connected, just as human beings, we are connected through that infinite power and presence, which is God. That infinite power and presence, which is God. And so knowing that God breathes itself into us, it breathes itself as light, as love, as creativity, as power, as intelligence, as wisdom, as peace, as joy. I speak my word for myself and everyone here, that I take this life of God, this mind of God, that is my mind, and I use it to expand my seeing, to expand the story of my life, so that I see harmony, joy, love, blooming, blossoming, lifting up this planet, lifting up my own life, the lives of those I love, and lifting up this planet, so that we see a new day, a new story of cooperation, of honesty, of wisdom, of care, of kindness being written. And I speak the word that I remember my power to be the author and to co-author with all my beloveds a beautiful, sustainable, healthy, harmonious world. That I take this day and this reminder to use that power of seeing and imagining and knowing that in that dedication to the vision of a world that I want to see becomes the pathway for its manifestation. I give such great thanks for this knowing. And I know each person is blessed this day, this week, is re-enlivened, has a new pathway to go on, to reorient, to re-choose our thoughts to be ones of the highest, knowing that we are assisted, we are blessed, we are loved, we are enough. And I release this word, knowing it is so. And together we say, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rev Liz. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
So, dear members, if you were with us together, if we were all together at the center, this would be the time where the ushers would come forward and pass the bowls around, and you would drop your envelopes and take your little happy message from us. So this is a time of sacred giving, And even though our world is facing the pandemic, we remain steadfast in our mission to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence, just as Rev Liz did so beautifully today as she described that. If you have enough to spare, then you have enough to share. we trust. In fact, it's more important than ever right now that we support each other, support our center. So please join us in our mission by giving us on our website, cslwhiterock.com. There's a donation spot there where you can donate little or a lot, whatever works for you. It's safe, simple, and secure. Gifts of all sizes are helpful and welcome. Your donation makes such a difference for us. It helps keep our center open. It helps us pay our bills. And we really appreciate everything that you bring to us. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I have a few announcements. Every Tuesday, our dear practitioner Jill has a wonderful meditation at 9:30. So 9:30 a.m. If you go onto our website or onto Facebook or any of those places, you can see, or even to the newsletter that comes out, you'll see the link, the Zoom link to tap into Jill. She does a wonderful job of meditation on Tuesday mornings at 9:30. So please join us if you'd like to. And Thursdays, practitioner Tamara is also leading a guided meditation. Hers is on Facebook Live, but it is recorded, so you can replay it. So if you missed the Thursday 3:30, you can find it on Facebook, and it's there, and it's fantastic. So we're currently living through this era of enormous change, and Rev Liz, you did such a beautiful job of describing how we can revision that. It was very powerful today. Thank you. And these unprecedented times are an opportunity for humanity to evolve and for each of us to step into that change. The good news, change provides an opening for the unfoldment of your soul. And Rev Cassandra is offering a brand new workshop series titled Creating Through Change. She's going to have 6 modules, which are designed to be taken together. However, they can also stand on their own. So if you want to take 1 or 2 modules, you can, or you could do all 6. However, if you want the maximum results, you might want to take all 6. And the price of 5 is $25 for each, or $125 for all of them, for all 6. So it's a screaming deal. And evening sessions begin on May 6th and 7th. I think she's having a daytime session. There are day sessions and evening sessions starting on May 6th and 7th. So please visit our website for more details and register now if you plan to attend. We'd love to. We hope you can join us. If you're here today and you're not part of our email list, you can go on our website and you can be part of our email, and it doesn't cost you anything, and the events will come directly to your inbox. So I want to take this time to say thank you for joining us today, and blessings for your week. And we're going to have a closing song, unless there's any other announcements. Tamara, do you have anything to say before we have our closing song?
No, I think we're all good, Georgia. I'm just going to stop the recording.